If you are in your late 20s, early 30s, these are things you should be thinking about. You should be thinking about the company you keep, because you know what they say. If you want to know where you'll be 10, 20 years from now, look at the people around you. So it's important for you to be around people who inspire you, who are achieving in ways that you aren't yet achieving. It's important for you to consider the people who maybe are like the negative Nancys, Debbie Downers, just the people who can find negative in every situation. Those people have their seasons, but you don't want that to be a constant thing around in your atmosphere, because you may be going through something, you may be in an inflection point, a point in your life where a major decision has to be made. And if you have the wrong people around you, you may end up making the wrong decisions, missing out on a really good opportunity because, the pessimists around you put in your mind, in your head, that if you take these actions, or if you make these decisions, it'll be to your detriment. And we don't want that. We want you to be able to see the best in situations. Obviously, logic is important, right? So you shouldn't be making decisions that are led by your emotions, right? And some would argue it depends. But at the same time, I can tell you for sure, if you're trying to make a logical decision and you have people around you that consistently just see the downside in everything, it's going to be very hard for you to take advantage of really good opportunities that will set you up for success. Number 2, if you are currently living at your parents' house or at future in-laws' house, it is very important for you to have a plan, right? Because I think it's easy for you to tell yourself and everybody around you, yeah, I'm here for only a short period of time, and it gives me the opportunity to save money. That is not always the case. I can tell you that, even I'll speak from personal experience. There were times when I was living with family and I had the opportunity to save money. I did save money, but at the same time, it also created some opportunities for me to spend more money, going out, hanging out with friends, traveling a lot, buying fancy, luxurious things, just because I saw the dollars in the account. And this is why it's important for you to have a plan, because if you have a plan, a budget, something that you're looking to hit or achieve, then you'll have to face those things and ask yourself, does this bring me going out, does it bring me closer or further away from my goal? So that's why it's important, when you have the opportunity to be living with family or in-law, to understand that it could be a good and a bad thing if you don't lay your cards out correctly and evaluate the situations and allow your decisions to be what should be strategic decisions. Number 3, the third thing you should be thinking about, if you have a partner, I think you should be asking yourself, is this the person I'm going to be with for the long haul? I think some of us sometimes get into this place where we're not comfortable being alone, so we kind of find ourselves moving from one relationship to the next. And it's kind of this vice that we create for ourselves to not ask ourselves and face the more difficult, direct questions about who we are and what it is that we should be doing. And I think it's important when you have a partner, it's important for you to ask the tough questions early and often, because what you don't want to do is be that person that shied away from the difficult conversations and then you jump into marriage because it feels good, it sounds good, it looks good. You get this big luxurious wedding, justifying yourself a few years later or even a few decades later. I've seen it happen, that you're now facing a divorce. So, I believe it's important for us to always put our best foot forward, especially when we're dealing with other lives, other people, all right? And I do believe that we want to be a blessing to those that we connect with and not what could be considered a curse, right? Because we understand that nobody wins in the family feuds, as Jay-Z would say. So I think you should really have these meetings, these sessions with your partner where you're asking, all right, how many kids do you see yourself having? Are you open to moving if I get a really good job opportunity? What happens if only one of us is working? If you're able to ask these questions and have conversations, and they're not easy conversations, like talking about credit, debt. If you have someone that went to a really great university, Ivy League, whatever, chances are, if they didn't get a full scholarship, there's some nice debt attached to that very pristine, beautiful looking degree. Or even the career that they're looking to do. So, right there, so there's chances are there's some sacrifices in the beginning that you're gonna have to work through, right? And which means one person might have to step up for not just a few months, but for a few years until, you can create a situation where it's copacetic and, ideal for everyone. And I would say the fourth thing you should be thinking about is when it comes to your career, the thing that you've decided to do, is that truly the thing that you really want to do? And I'll tell you, that answer isn't straightforward. Sometimes it takes years to figure out that question. But I think it's important for you to be able to evaluate, take time, set time aside for you to assess how you show up in the workplace, assess how engaged you are in the workplace. Are you putting in the extra time? Are you doing, are you getting these certifications? All right, these are things that show that you're really into the career, the job, the thing that you're trying to do. And if you're not doing those things, it doesn't mean you're not into it. It could just mean you're lazy. And if you're lazy, you gotta ask yourself, where do I want to be 10 years from now? If you're trying to be someone with a nice, healthy bank account, being able to own your own home, in a suburbs or a nice area or in the middle of the city, you have to ask yourself, those people who are able to afford those places, what is their level of commitment to the thing that they do? And it's most likely a call to action for you to to make those decisions of like, all right, I'm in my sacrificial season, right? I know sometimes it's nice to, hang out, party, and, have the weekends where I get to Netflix and chill, or just like detach from the work week. But if you're building a career, you have to also keep in mind that you're building a reputation. And the way I like to think about it, for me, is I know I want to become someone that my colleagues trust, my peers trust. So for them to trust me, I have to be able to show up and be dependable. Dependability, I'm seeing these days, it can become and can be a rare gem. Because again, you have a lot of people who just come in, do just enough to get the check, just enough not to get fired. And unfortunately, you're in this place of comfort, and guess who's after that comfort level? Artificial intelligence. That's right, AI. I actually did pretty good. I was trying to see how long it was going to take me for me to drop that word. But yeah, if you're not pushing yourself, building new skills, then you potentially leave yourself to be replaced by technology that can optimize and do all the things that you're doing right now, right? Because it could be potentially mundane, repetitive, pretty straightforward, right? So this is where you have to be creative. You have to put the extra time to see the gaps, right? To understand, like, what is the pulse on, the products and services, and the pulse on the people who are consuming those products and services. Gotta take your time to recognize trends and patterns and be able to use your voice to make a difference in your workplace. And this goes, and if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, let me tell you right now, when you think about A-type people are A-type people whether they're entrepreneurs or in the workplace. So that means the way you do anything or everything is gonna be that. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, then I need you to ask yourself, how am I performing at my current place, in my current state? Because if I'm just doing enough and you just think because you go off, do your own thing, you're gonna have more passion or better work ethic, it doesn't work out that way. And I promise you, the entrepreneur's life is so much harder. And there's so many different factors that you don't think about, right? And don't let these Instagram highlight reels have you out here living on the side of the road with no insurance, because that is a real reality, right? So gotta be honest with yourself. And for me, being in my early 30s, I'm in this place where it's important for me to take my time and really seek silence. I noticed that I have this habit. I know I'm not the only one. Like, let's say for this walk here, I wanted to go out, walk in the neighborhood, walking my little man, Adonis, you can see here. And, I was like, where's my AirPods? Let me listen to some music. And, there's a time and place for music, but I think it's important to be able to, take these walks, or just have a place where you can just have complete silence and let your thoughts roam and do what they do. You can learn from your thoughts. So, if you aren't putting time aside for prayer, for time to write, to see what ideas are coming to your mind, I highly recommend that you do that, because in this world where we are so highly connected to everything, it really wears down on that muscle of like creating and thinking and really being who we were designed to be and called to be. And I want you to be your best, to show up as your best. So take that time for you to ask yourself the real questions. You know, what is it that I really want to do? How can I serve the people that I'm connected to better? If you can't serve people better, then how do you expect to build anything that's going to be truly of value? Because the people who do really well, who make, you know, millions of dollars and who create these successful businesses are people who have learned to serve their clients really well. So I highly recommend that you just take some time, grab a piece of pen, a piece of paper and a pen, and just ask yourself some simple but profound questions, and take your time to answer it. You know, you don't have to answer it right away, but start. If you don't got anything down on paper, and if you wrote down goals years ago and you haven't looked at them, I definitely would recommend that you look at those goals and see how far you've come. There's a lot of good things that you've done up to this point, and there's a lot of things that are waiting for you to show up and to put your best foot forward, so that they can become the crystallization of a vision made clear. So I hope you found this video to be helpful and insightful. If you take away anything, take away this: you have one life to live. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. So be serious about how you spend your time, right? Can't get time back. It's the most valuable resource that you have. So it's time for you to put in that work. 2025 is the year of right now. Just do it right now. Focus right now. Evaluate everything in your life right now. And I truly believe if you take your time and you do all those things, you are going to have a realization of exactly what you need to do to create the life that you deserve and the people connected to you deserve. Stay blessed, be great, continue to prosper.